Good evening. This is the Kent County Board of Appeals public hearing on Monday, July 15th, 2024. We are waiting for the applicant to arrive. Thank you for your patience.
We're live, okay.
Bill,
Wait. Are your microphones on?
is that a mic?
It is. Is your microphone on? Is it
Yep.
green? Okay, now people can hear you. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
The Board of Zoning Appeals for Kent County, Maryland is this 15th day of July in session. Dr. Al Townsend, Joan Horsey, and John Massey sitting, and David Hill observing. Tom Yeager is serving as attorney for the board. Robert Tracy and Beth Grieve are serving as staff. The board has before it the application of Fry Family LP. The clerk will now read into the record the notice of the hearing, all pertinent facts, and will identify all correspondence received in this matter, which has been provided to the members of the board.
On Monday, July 15th at 5, the Kent County Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing in the County Commissioners' Hearing Room, 400 High Street, Chestertown, Maryland, to review the following application. Fry Family LP is requesting a variance from the side yard setback requirement to build a new feed mixing and grain handling facility for an animal feeding operation. The property is located at 10120 Augustine Herman Highway, Chestertown. Members of the public may attend the meeting in person or observe and/or comment by phone. If you have any questions, please contact the department at 410-778-7423. If you need communication assistance, please contact the Maryland Relay Service at www.mdrelay.org or 711 for voice. Letters were sent to adjacent property owners on June 20th, 2024. No correspondence has been received.
The hearing will follow this procedure. The applicant will present their case, after which the board and anyone present may cross-examine them in regard to their testimony. If the applicant should have any witnesses to speak on their behalf, they each will testify, and the board and anyone present may cross-examine each witness in regard to their testimony. Anyone else present who wishes to testify on behalf of the applicant may do so and then be cross-examined. Protestants may then testify, after which each may be cross-examined in regard to their testimony by the board and anyone present. The board at its discretion may call staff or another person deemed appropriate to testify, after which staff or the witnesses called may be cross-examined in regard to their testimony by the board and anyone present. After everyone has testified, then the applicant and protestants may each be allowed to present closing arguments. Will the applicant please come forward? Okay, if you'll raise your right hand. Do you declare that the testimony you're about to give in this case be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, please be seated. State your name and address.
My name is Matt Fry. I live at 10120 Augustine Herman Highway, and I'm an owner in Fry Family LP and also managing partner of Fairhill Farms, the operating business.
Okay, and what is the, what are you applying for? What is the application?
So we are applying for a variance from the 600-foot setback that is required for CAFO concentrated animal feeding operations from adjacent property lines. What we wish to do is build a new, what we're calling feed center, which is a steel building that would allow us to load and mix commodities indoors out of the weather, and also have adjacent bagged item and equipment storage in it. And then we will tie in a new grain handling facility so that we can haul grain in at harvest and then not handle it again until we're loading it into our mixer to be delivered into cattle on a daily basis.
Okay.
And so that proposed site is directly adjacent to our existing feed pad where we store forages, and right off of where our existing truck scale is.
Okay. I was a little confused about property lines because it's all Fry property.
Yes, so we have, the operating farm there is made up of about 4 different parcels. And the main farm, which is owned by Fry Family LP, which is made up of myself, my wife, and my father, Ed, are the owners. That's 403 acres. That has a very unique shape to the property. Very much looks like almost a frying pan. So it makes a neck right there at the front of the farmstead and goes straight down to 213 and then opens up from the back of the farm. A parcel that is owned by Ed and Marion Fry, my parents, are adjacent, and that's the property line that we're requesting the variance from, because that comes within 15 feet of this proposed building, and that our farmstead obviously predates any CAFO regulations that would have been in place, and so nearly all of our farmstead is within the setback zone for CAFO setback.
Okay.
We are in discussion with the state about doing a property line adjustment. Both properties are in the scenic byway program, so they have preservation on them. And so their next meeting is September, I believe. We've put applications in to do property line adjustments there so that in the future we don't have to keep revisiting this process. But wanted to get the ball rolling because we have buildings, or I should say have tanks ordered, legs ordered, and they're waiting on us to say go to start erecting.
Okay.
Essentially, you need a variance because these properties, they're all owned or controlled by your family, but they're different parcels and there's different entities
Yes.
that own them.
Yes,
So you're requesting a setback of 15 feet, which you need a 585 feet variance, basically from your mom and dad's
Yes.
lot, from a lot owned by your mom and dad.
yes,
And your dad, just for the record, I was at the Planning Commission meeting. His dad appeared at that meeting and indicated that he is in support of this request. He's
yes. He's
opposed.
not here because he's bringing a feed truck home from Pennsylvania.
So the variance is not going to cause any substantial detriment to adjacent neighboring properties, namely your parents?
Nope, nope, and we've got it tight to the farmstead, and we didn't look to go back because of traffic flow, biosecurity, if we moved it back to the back, and then we get into some topographical issues as we move to the back of the farmstead. So we've got quite a bit more fall on the back of the farmstead than is common in most of the county.
And it's not going to change the character of the neighborhood?
Nope,
Okay. And it obviously is consistent with the comprehensive plan and general intent of the ordinance. And the practical difficulty is just the unusual character of the
shape of the property,
properties.
yes.
Ms. Horsey, you have questions? Ms. Massey?
Yeah, just a couple. The proposed building, if you take out the Fry properties, it's over 600 feet from the road or any other?
Oh, yes, I believe it's over 1,400 feet from the road.
Okay. Now, you said something about adjusting the property line, so you
So
wanna-
both properties have an easement on it, but we have language within the easements, because they were done at the same time concurrently, that we can adjust property lines as long as it's an acre for acre swap between the two properties.
Okay, but if you adjusted the property line, you'd keep the new building in the same spot. You wouldn't move it.
Oh, correct, yes. That would just be so that if we have future additions, expansions on the farmstead, that we wouldn't have to keep coming back for a variance to get that done.
Right, and this variance would be moot if you did, it would no longer be needed if you did the lot line adjustment.
Correct.
And from what I recall, the Planning Commission is, because of the preservation easements and whatnot, it's a long process for them to do
Yes.
the lot line adjustment. And that's why they're seeking the variance now, because they wouldn't be able to get a lot line adjustment immediately. That's
Yes,
the approvals, that's a lengthy process because of the agricultural easements.
yes.
I understand.
That's all I
That's it. Mr. Yeager, you have any questions?
I do not.
Did you bring anyone else to testify on your behalf?
I did not.
Good, good. And I assume there's no one here opposing the application, and I don't see anyone on the internet, so we should be fine there. If you want to make a closing statement, you can. You don't have to.
No, I appreciate everyone's time. I apologize for my tardiness in getting here. But I think this is just a continuation of our continuity of business and allowing us to move forward in an agricultural zone.
Good, good. Thank you. If you'll step back, we'll call staff. And if you'll raise your right hand. You declare testimony you're about to give in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Please be seated. State your name and address, or position, I'm sorry.
Sure. Good evening. My name is Rob Tracy. I'm an associate planner with the Department of Planning and Zoning. As you heard from the applicant, they're seeking a variance, a 585-foot variance from a 600-foot setback to build a new feeding, mixing, and grain handling facility. The Planning Commission reviewed this application on July 11th, last Thursday, and recommended a favorable recommendation to this body. Article 9, Section 2.2 outlines that the Planning Commission will send a recommendation to this board, and then they outline, that article outlines the specific criteria for review. I would like to add that this farm has been operating since 1960, prior to the CAFOS regulations, as well as a 2011 Board of Appeals case for a waste management structure with a similar setback of 600 feet. The board in that case found that due to the unusual characteristics of the lot configuration, that constituted a practical difficulty. Staff believes that the the proposed variance wouldn't alter the zone or the rural character of the surrounding area. I would also say that it's consistent with the land use ordinance and the comprehensive plan. And I believe that the practical difficulty in this case, this was found in the 2011 case, would be the irregular size and shape of that property. I'm happy to answer any questions or go in additional detail if you like.
Sorcy, you have any questions? Mr. Yeager, do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, this seems like a repeat of the 2011 application that they did for another piece of equipment. The practical difficulty is in the way the property lines, mom and dad own part, corporation owns part, and all, and they're obviously going to make an effort to correct that, but in the meantime, they're looking for a little faster resolution so they can go ahead and begin to build this thing and initiate it into their farming operation. So it seems like a reasonable application for a variance.
C3.
I agree. Anybody want to make a motion? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I move to approve that we approve a 595-foot variance from the 600-foot side yard setback requirement for the Fry Family Limited Partnership property located at 10120 Augustine Herman Highway, Kent County, 3rd Election District, in order to build a new feed mixing and grain handling facility for their existing confined dairy operation.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion's passed, application's been approved, and you should be getting notification within a month.
Thank you.
Okay. So we're,
The board wants to make a motion to close the meeting. I believe there's some paperwork that has to be completed, and we have to make a public motion, and then we'll shut off the camera.
Right,
And I better go lock the doors.
right. So you would go into closed session for the purpose of getting legal advice.
okay, you want to make that motion?
Make a motion that we go into closed session for the purpose of receiving legal advice.
Second the motion.
We have a copy of the form here?
All in favor?
I don't.
All in favor?